Hey everybody, this is going to be one of two videos. The first video I'm going to show you how to make an origami crane. The second video I'll show you how to make an origami rabbit. You're going to have some origami paper in your little kit. And this is 6-inch square, but you can make your own using just, printer paper. I would not use construction paper because that paper is too fragile, and once you've folded it doesn't fold very evenly, it'll start to break along the folds, and that'll be problematic. But you can take any other paper. Just make sure the key part is that it is a square, because if it's not perfectly square, it doesn't line up exactly right, and then it starts being a problem when you're folding. So we're going to start with our crane. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out by making your basic folds that start giving you the lines of where you're going to fold. So I'm going to take it and fold it in half this way. And what I do is my trick, or what helps me, is I line up the corners first. And then I press from the corners out to where the fold is. So I'm doing it in half one way, and then folding it in half the other way. All right. Then I'm going to take it and do the same thing on a diagonal. So I'm taking these corners and lining them up. Make sure they're lined up completely square. You'll see why later. It's worth taking the time to make sure that they're done correctly. And you can check all the corners to make sure all of the corners are corners. There's not any paper overlapping. Then I will do the opposite corners to get the line that way. So now you'll see I've got lines going here, 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 and here. Now, the first fold is you take it on the diagonal, and I'm going to take these corners, and they're going to fold on the inside. So I open it up a little bit, and I'm going to fold it backwards on this corner, and sometimes it's easier to just sort of pop it in with your finger, and you pull that corner down there. So you see you've got one side like that. And now you're going to do the same thing on the other side. And you can use your nail. Sometimes that helps you get it to line up right, but you don't want it to squish, the fold to squish. You want to keep the fold straight. So now you've got this, and this is what it looks like. Okay? So then what I do is I'll take this corner and take it to the middle. And I'm taking this straight line, and it's going to line up with this line. And I'm going to do it just one half of the paper, or the folded paper here. And the way you can really check it is to make sure it goes down into a point down here. And then I will make sure I pressed it down really well, and do the same thing on the other side. Okay. And sometimes it doesn't work exactly right, so what I'll do is that's a little frustrating, but helps sometimes to use a toothpick, or if you've got fingernails, you can use those. Flip it over. My fingernails are short right now, so that's not helping me all that much. But again, I'm trying to make sure that this lines up here, but also that I get it right down to a point there, and then make sure that this lines up with this, and then press it down and do the same thing on the other side. And again, that'll give us the lines we need. So I'll take this top corner, which doesn't fold, and I'm going to fold this down. And the only reason I'm doing this is to get the crease in the paper. And I open it up again and open these again. Now, this is the trickiest part of the whole whole crane, what you do is you open this part up, and you're making sure it opens on that fold. So it sort of holds on. It kind of, if you flattened it like this now, it would rip. But you want to get in with your fingernail and get onto those lines. And you're taking that corner, this corner goes to the middle like this. But remember, you can fold it along the lines from the folds that you made before. And get it so that it makes a nice point. That's not a perfect point, but that's close. There. And the same all the way down. Now you're going to flip it over. You'll take this piece. This winds up being the body of the crane. You fold that down so you've got it folded in the right place. Open up these. And remember, we open this up. Open this piece to here. Kind of makes sort of almost a cup. But make sure that it's going to fold along the creases that are already there. You take that middle one to the middle. This one. Now you see how that's kind of caught? So this is where you can use a pen. You could use a pencil, probably a pencil. But just make sure you don't draw on the inside of it. Have it come down to the point here, here, and here. Okay? So, now you've got this bottom like this, and here's this. Now, this will become your tail and your head. And what you do is you fold it like this, the angle. And you can make whatever angle you want. So I'm going to make the head go out a little farther, and I'll make that tail not go out quite so far. See, so that angle's a little different. Doesn't really matter. Fold that down. Now put it back, and you take it this way, and you see how you can open it up here. So you see those lines? That's where you're going to fold it the opposite direction. See? So now you've got that. And do the same thing on the other side. So you open this up and you see your folds. There. So I wanted my tail to be up a little bit. See, that's where the paper ripped. That's why it's important to be able to follow those folds in with your fingers. Now I'm going to make this into the head. So I will fold it down at whatever angle I want. See, I can make him look like he's bowing his head a little bit, or make him come out that way. So I'm going to fold that down, open it up again. Then you can just push it down with your finger. Now I've got my head and my tail. I can fold down my wings. And those you can fold however you want. If you wanted to make them curve a little bit, you could. You just wrap them around your finger. But if you want to have them go the same way, fold down the same amount, then just you fold one, and then you fold the other, and just match up the triangles that way. So now I've got it like that. And if I wanted to curve it, I could wrap it like that, or just, I don't really want to curve it. I'm going to just pop that little fold there, and I'll hold them out. And then if you want it to sort of sit up a little straighter, you can open this up. That'll give it a little bit more stability. Do the same on the back a little bit. And there you have your paper crane. You can draw on eyes if you want to, or not. But there you got a paper crane. So enjoy. And you'll probably have to go over the video a couple of times. But there's extra paper, so if you rip it, it's no big deal. But again, as I said, you can make your own as long as it's a square, okay? All right, this is the video for this rabbit. And it starts with a lot of preparation because you've got to get a lot of the creases in the paper. So I'm going to start by taking this side and folding it over to this side. And again, like with the crane, just make sure you really have it lined up properly, because that makes a big difference, especially with the parts that are pointy, like the ears. All right, making sure that's folded. Then I'll open it up again, and I'm going to take this end and go to the middle. And do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so see, now I've got 4 little sections. Now I'm going to do it the opposite way. And it's a little harder to do once it's got all the creases in it, to make sure that you've got everything lined up. But as I said, if you do the corners, then you can kind of slide it back into the fold. Just make sure that you keep those corners lined up. And I just almost messed up. There we go. Make a nice crease there. Open it up again, and then do the same thing like you did on the other side. You take this edge and go into the middle on both sides. So there, one. And 2. So now it looks like I've got a checkerboard with 8 boxes. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the diagonal. And again, I'll go to the middle and then I go out to the edges. And you can tell if you've gotten it right, because you'll actually have little points here. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. So now I go to the middle and then I go out to the edges. There. So now that looks really complicated. Now what's interesting is what they've got, you'll hear mountain fold or a valley fold. And right now this is a valley fold because it's going down like a valley. If I turn it over, then it's a mountain fold, and that depends on which direction the paper folds. So now it's flattened out. Now I'm going to take this edge and move it to the middle again, and do the same thing on the other side. So now I've got a rectangle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this corner and bring it up to here. So I'm going to see, it's going to fold along this line right here. There. This is why it's really important to get those creases right. The preparatory creases correct. So doing the same thing on the other side. Okay. Now I'm going to flip it this way and flip it over. What I'm going to do is then sort of take the top and flip it this way. All right. And now right now we're making the head of the rabbit. Now I'm going to flip it upside down again, and I'm going to take this and bring it into here, making a point there. So I'm taking this and bringing it along this line. Like that, see? I'll do the same thing on the other side. See, I've got that like that. Then I'm going to bring it, fold it down. So you see now it looks like I've got my head. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to make the nose. You see how the nose isn't pointy? Because rabbits don't really have pointy noses. So I'm going to take this top corner, Just fold down a little teeny bit of it, making sure that that point is along this middle line. Okay. And now I'm going to take this and fold it down the middle. Okay. Now, the way to get the rabbit's head up a little bit is you take the two ears like this, and you can bend it up all the way up like this or like this. I'm taking it about a 45-degree angle, give or take, and folding this down. And this is a lot of paper. It's a lot of layers, so be careful. I'm trying to make sure it folds. So there we go. Okay, now we're going to make the body, and we're going to sort of start from this fold here, but we don't want to go like this because we need it on an angle. So what I'm going to do is sort of take it and fold it down. See, there's sort of a line there. I'm kind of lining it up with that, and I'm folding it down. Okay, and then I'll unfold it because what we need to do is we need to get it to go in the middle. So we open this up, and you see we've got our lines. So we're going to fold that like that. Okay. And now we need to fix this so that the feet look pointy. So again, I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to get the feet kind of pointy first, and then figure out where that gets me here, because this is not going to go straight up into the middle. Make sure that they're lined up pretty well. So there. Then we need to put the tail, deal with the tail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this down, push it down now, unfold it, open up the back, and kind of push this in with my finger and squeeze it back together again. So now you have your rabbit. Oh, almost forgot. You can open up the ears by just taking your thumb. Again, hold this down here, because it'll open up because there's that extra layer. Put your thumb and your forefinger, your thumb in the middle of your forefinger, and you kind of wrap it around and make that nice little curve there. And you can draw on an eye. This Sharpie is a little large, so I've got to do this kind of carefully. But rabbits have almond-shaped eyes. There. And now you've got your rabbit. So that's how to make a rabbit. So have fun with your little rabbits, and hope that works well for you. And again, you can make your own origami paper. I really wouldn't suggest construction paper, and make sure you've got a perfect square. All right, have a great day. Bye.